Welcome. What's good, everybody? My name is Derrick Davis, and you're watching Young and Powerful Podcast. Today, we're gonna be talking about life lessons with a young brother of mine, William Pollard. We're just gonna discuss this topic, and we're gonna see what he says and what we say together, and what we can do to help each other and help one another and help somebody that don't know nothing about this topic and help them get their self together. Amen. So, brother William, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good today, man.
Uh-huh.
It's actually warm outside today. The weather's been kind of wild here in KC.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, everybody knows. But I'm happy. It's warm outside. I'm feeling good. I'm off today. I'm off the
Uh-huh.
next 2 days. So,
Mm-hmm. How you feel? What did you think about when I asked you about this to be a guest on my podcast?
when you asked me the question, I was thrilled actually.
Mm-hmm.
My president or my past president, Marquise Johnson, he kind of let me in about the podcast episode. I told him about it. He was like, "Yeah, Derek's got a podcast." And
Mm-hmm.
I hopped on it immediately. I had to. So I was very thankful when you texted me about it. I was really excited, honestly, because I was actually like wanting to do a podcast
Mm-hmm.
episode for a minute. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to get into our topic. Our topic today, to our viewers, if you didn't hear me before, is life lessons. And I'm going to be asking William questions about pertaining to life lessons. And our first question that I have is, what is one thing you learned from a difficult experience in your life, with William?
one thing I've learned from difficult experiences in life, it's always gonna be you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what the circumstance is, no matter what's going on, like you can't sometimes you can't look to the left and look to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that your support system ain't there, because you're always gonna have your support system no matter what it is. But in those quick moments, in those sharp turn moments, like there's really no time to sit here and look to the left, look to the right. Like it's got to be you.
Okay.
It's got to be.
What? Yeah. Do you, who's your in your opinion, who's your support system?
My support system has always been my pops, my uncle, really my family. Um, Even though sometimes we may not be able to get on the phone and talk as much, or
Mm-hmm.
may not be able to communicate as much, we'll see each other from time to time. We'll always check in on each other. I'll also say, I've made a real close group of friends since I've been in college. It's like 5 people really. That's like always been like, I would say like a part of my family. Like they're my brothers. So I always talk to them as much as I can every day. So I'm very thankful for them.
Okay. Are you do you motivate each other as well as other people? Do you try to?
I try my best to. I've always tried to look at things like on the brighter side, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what the circumstance is, because at times you may be really low. You may be
Mm-hmm.
like them lows be really low. Like don't never let someone tell you like when they're down, like they down, they really mean it. So I always try to give people like the most joy I can out of me, even whenever like whatever their situation may be. Like I always try to be like a nice person, because you don't really know what people go through.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, I would agree with you because it's like, I tell you, we all learn, life is hard. You have
man,
it is, especially when you want to learn, you want to do things, and you just oh I wanted to say, if I had known now what if I had
no
known
need,
then what
hey
I know now, I would have been in the space that I am now. Like
man,
high school, I wish I'm gonna be in my in my opinion, I would really want to go back to high school because Like I
Hey,
know,
I done said that
you
a
know,
couple times myself too.
yes, you know, certain people they want to be a kid again. Now we didn't have no responsibility. We didn't
Hey,
have nothing. No.
we're going through high school. I was going to school, playing drums, YPD, of course, going to different choirs, playing
Hmm.
football. That was all I had to worry about. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm like I
man.
was high school somewhat equipped me to the real world, but it somehow didn't because like
At some point, you got to experience it. Like,
yeah.
you can go. Like, I realized that at a young age too, through like sports, through just like coaches, mentors talking to me. Like, the world is gonna be the world. It's not gonna change. The
Mm-hmm.
support system you have, they're gonna coach you up as best as they can, but at the end of the day, you have to have the experience. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have the experience, all the coaching, all the training was for nothing. I don't want to say it was for nothing, but time really does show.
Okay.
So when I say it's got to be you, like you got to go through it. Whatever the experience is, like, you can be coached up, you can be talked up as much as you want, but until you go through the experience, that's when you really start learning.
Yeah, I would agree because I'm still at this point I'm still getting this life thing, and it's okay to get that life thing
Man,
still.
not, I don't even got, I don't have life figured out. Nobody really has life figured out. We really take life day by day. Of course, that really does, that came into fruition too for me. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I tell
day
you,
by
if
day
you
really does mean something.
yeah, if you have this life thing figured out, that's good for you. But you got a world of hurt coming your
Man,
way.
man, let
No
me
one
know how
has.
you, you know, if you got life
No,
figured out now, give me the blueprint. Let me know what's up.
yes, yeah. Tell me what I can do.
What didn't I do yet? You know?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it brings me to my our next question is like what was the most significant challenge you faced and how did you overcome it?
Um, ooh, most significant challenge I faced,
Hmm.
overcame it. Mm. It's a lot of it's a lot of different things. Oh man, it's a lot of challenges right now that I'm having, but I won't say I've overcome them yet. One thing I'll say I've overcome really was when my mother passed. It was really hard for me to like open up again. It was really hard for me to just like be the same Will that I was beforehand as to now. I really say just really becoming like just that person, like, in my opinion, like just becoming Will again. Like, it was really hard for me to just be upbeat and happy and energetic all the time. But I've had to realize, like, life goes on. Like, that's the one thing
Hmm.
about life that, even though we hear it, we understand it, like, emotionally we'll never be able to handle it.
Hmm.
Just because our emotions, they can be so high and be so low. I feel like that's when, in life, that's when you have to really like look at that phrase for what it is. Like, you have to use logic when you hear that phrase.
Hmm.
So I would say just really opening up, becoming just that regular person again, because ever since the day she passed happened, I was really like, I was really cut off. I was really distant, and it was, I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to sit here and talk it out. I didn't want to hear all the, oh, we're here for you, it's okay. Like, I didn't want to hear all of that right now, because in my head I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, it was a it was like a fog in my head. I was going through everyday life. I was doing the stuff I was supposed to do, but it was like going
Hmm.
to class. Like, after that, it was. Like that whole semester after it was terrible. Like I was keeping my grades up the best as I can, but best I could to the ability that my mind was letting me at the time. But it was it was just like I was like my days were just running together. Like I was just like time was just moving at that point. Like I don't want to say I didn't. I felt like I didn't have purpose because I knew my purpose, but it was like a giant hole in me.
Mhm.
It almost felt like so just becoming a regular, just my regular self again. I feel like that was like something that was. I feel like that was a personal accomplishment for me because I never thought like even though like in my head I always knew like okay I know one day like they're not gonna be here but like just how everything like went down from my perspective from my point of view like
Mhm.
I couldn't process it fast not fat well I couldn't process it fast enough my emotions wouldn't let me just all right that happened we got to put it aside because we got class we got this like I'm walking to class like I'm not even my mind's not even on class right now. Like I just got in my friend's car to drive to ride to class, but I'm not even like whole time my subconscious is not on class right now. So just becoming my regular self again, just I feel like that was like a real big accomplishment for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you. When I remember the last time I saw you is when I came to Bethel to visit well, one Sunday. Well,
Hmm.
yeah, and you was still your happy-go-lucky self. You was
Yeah,
still drumming. And you know I know it's hard when you lose a loved one, and you still got to go on life day by day. And oh, I'm gonna make it a great day, but
man.
I know
Like that
you.
part of that great day is like it's not present, so it was yeah.
Hmm. And you miss seeing that loved one that you've been seeing for a while, and then just so happens that he or she is gone. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like how do all right now? How do I move now? Like, cause I'll tell you, I remember uh just my first day of college actually.
Hmm.
I remember seeing my class schedule going to my classes, but the whole time I'm on the phone with my mom like the whole day. Like if she was here, she'd tell you. Like my pops can tell you. Like I was on the phone with her literally like
Hmm.
like every day like my first like month of college just cause like I couldn't not stand not hearing my mama like just to like hey mom all right I'm like I would like walk to class I would hang up before class call her right after get back on tell her about class and
Hmm.
she would like pretty much like help me or tutor me like just from what I'm hearing in class or like how I'm taking notes like just do everyday stuff like when it wasn't there anymore or when I knew like I couldn't call that phone like it was a weird feeling I couldn't like I didn't want to show it because I mean of course I'm up there all my friends all my peoples so I'm chilling I'm with my friends technically so I'm like I'm cool but like
Hmm.
on the inside like I was kind of scared for my future a little bit. And I know that's kind of like down the line forward thinking, but like
It's not. It's not.
I was
Not
still in
really.
in my head. It was like I was still like learning a lot of things like
Hmm.
at a young age. So her mentoring me and just talking me like through a lot of stuff just as a college kid, like I was just like I was so grateful for it. So when it wasn't there, I was just like, all right, I know I'm on my own out here. I got to think for myself, but like I can't even call like class purposes just for mentoring reasons. Like I was just like, all right, I got to figure it out somehow. So
Are you? Is it, are you? Can you say? Are you still figuring it out, or have you gotten to a point where you like, I need help?
I say right now I'm at a point where I'm slowly starting to figure it out. I don't want to say I got it or I'm starting to unlock the whole puzzle, but I'm starting to find the hidden pieces, the small pieces to it. That's helping me build the whole picture. So I feel like the direction I'm heading in is a good direction.
Okay, okay. I commend you, brother. I I I
Appreciate it.
I commend you. And this is me saying it. I don't know. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you. I just don't. I
I
just don't
appreciate that
know.
for real.
It's something that it's something that we all have to go through. But when you just, especially because you're young and
Man, yeah.
you
Like
you you lost her at a young age.
man, like I lost her right before like I turned 21. So I was still 20 when it happened. So so when I turned 21, I actually just sat in my room and I was just like
Hmm.
we had like I was just like I was replaying all moments in my head, like all moments after church. Like we just sit in the car, like I'm about to be like mom will be 21. She was like I know, and then I was just like it became a surreal moment for me at a for a brief second, and then of course I got back to it. I was hanging out with my friends. I was hanging out with them turn, but like for a brief second, I was just like man, like this is something me and my mom always talked about. Just like just being able to see me turn 21, like see me become an adult, like that was such a big thing for her.
Hmm.
So
I think we all. I think we all. It's turning 21 is like a big accomplishment in our life. Like
man,
18, turning 18 is a accomplishment, but turning 21,
21, yeah,
it's a big accomplishment because we black, and certain black kids, certain
especially certain
people
young
don't
black
make it.
men don't make it to
Yes,
20.
they some people, they this it's like we don't want to be like another statistic. You know how many people didn't make it to 21, and now like I just turned 25 in January, and
Man,
I mean, I'm if I I'm glad I turned 21. I mean 25, but Lord knows if God's will let me turn 30, I'll be grateful for that, because
man,
any age you got to be grateful, but 30, 25, that's a grateful stage.
that's a milestone for real. Like I thought about it when I turned 22 this year. I was like, man, I'm 8 years away from 30.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I
Like when I can just remember, like the other day I was 20 years old, like,
uh-huh.
or the other day I was just 18, moving on Mo West campus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man,
Now, what we got we could, it brings me to our next question. What is the decision that you made that you are particularly proud of, Brother William?
a decision I made that I'm particularly proud of. I'm proud that I made the decision to take a break from college,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason I say that is because I'll say probably for the first time, this is like the one time I actually looked out for my own mental health.
Okay.
Because more times than none, as a young black man, whatever you do in your life, if whatever emotion you got going, like you don't really look at your mental health
No.
as much as you want to or should in the or in whatever circumstance you in. Like whether it be you playing sports or you getting into a profession, you just got a new job or you working overtime or you picking up more shifts. Like you don't really stop and think about like your mental health as much as you should. So I really took this time to like really take a step back because really, I never really had a break from school ever. So like, of course, you go K all the way through 12. Right after you graduate, go to college. Like you don't never stop going to school. So, and this time that I took, of course, I gotta pay school bills off and things like that. But I really had a time to just like calm down for a minute. Like, let me
Hmm.
regroup.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I would say that a decision. I would piggyback on what you said. The decision that I'm proud of is creating this because I really didn't have nothing to do other than go to church, and I'm a part of a community organization, KCOG, and that was another thing that I did. But I needed something else to take up my time because if I wasn't doing nothing, I was just sitting here and lounging around and
Right,
doing
right.
nothing. So I just created this, and it's been going good so far. I really liked it. I really like this and
I'm gonna
what
say,
I'm
man,
doing.
I like this setup. I really do.
Uh huh.
It's real
Yeah,
smooth.
yeah. I tell you who suggested this program to me was StreamYard.
Mm.
Reverend Fletch
Okay.
suggested that I do this StreamYard thing, and it's been going well ever since. And I like it. I ain't got to do nothing but just type in a few words and send the link, and that's
It's
good for
nice
me.
though.
Yes, yes, yes. I try to do things that help me out because I tell you, my first when I first started the podcast, I really, in my opinion, I didn't take it seriously. But when I took a hiatus, that's the only thing that I thought about was getting my podcast back together because I was getting bored and I didn't have nothing to do,
Mm.
and it was something that I wanted to get back together. And then I talked to Miss Gail, Gail McClinton, and
Yep.
she got me some equipment for my podcast, and voila, we're here today. So
Man, shout out Aunt Gil. Uh,
yes, we love you,
man,
Miss Gail.
love you, Miss Gil, because
Yeah.
it's a lot of things. A lot of things that she's done put her touch on that just boom start up like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I really do like this podcast though. This is
Yeah. This is the people's podcast.
I like
This
this.
is
This
this
is
is
nice.
for people, young people.
Yeah,
It's
get some
for
more young people on here. I tried to find somebody to bring on here with me, but all my people right now are in St. Joe. I tried to get Marquise down here, but right now he's currently in St. Joe. So
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand, and it's like this benefits everyone. I don't. I'm just a producer. I let people do what they want to do. If they don't want to do it, okay. But it's okay if you don't want to do it, and it's okay if you do it because I think this benefits you because you might be speaking to life to someone that needs it.
man, I hope I am honestly. Like never,
Yeah,
whenever I get a chance to do something like this, like I hope I do
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. And then it was like we got our next question that we have is like, what is what is something that you wish you had known when you were younger?
Mm. What is something I wish I had known when I was younger?
Mhm.
You got to be patient.
Okay.
That's one thing I really like. Wish I had known when I was younger. It's just you gotta be patient. What like because as a young kid, you always want to go out and get everything. You always want to go out and do everything you can possible. But I really say, yeah, something I wish I know when I was younger. Whew, definitely be patient.
Yeah, I would say this. You don't have to. I would agree with you, but that another thing I would say is you don't have to have everything at the same time. You don't have. You can
Yeah,
just wait
you can't
and
have your cake and eat it too.
yeah,
Okay.
yes. And I would. Next one I would say is take your time and do it right the first time instead of doing it a second time. Because I tell you, it's like I wasn't. I wasn't everyone taught me well and everything, but
Hmm.
I'm telling you, if I had known that this life thing was, I'm telling you, if we could age backward, I still would do that because
Yeah, most
I just
definitely.
this life thing, whoo, I tell you, it's something else.
Man, I wish. One thing I wish I'd known when I was younger.
Oh, Miss Gail is watching.
She is. Hey,
Yes.
Miss Gail.
She said she loves us both, and she's so proud of us.
I love you too, Miss Gail.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about our next question is like, what is a failure that you experienced, and how did you come back from that? How you bounce back from that?
What's a failure I experienced?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, whew, ooh, that's a failure I experienced. Oh man. Uh, dang, that's a good question. A failure I experienced. How would I bounce
Mm-hmm.
back from it? Oh, I remember. I remember back in high school, I had tore my ACL. Oh, it was ooh.
Your senior year of college. I mean, your senior
No, no,
year,
no.
wasn't it?
No, it was going into my senior year. So it was
Uh
like
huh.
end of junior year.
Okay.
Uh that was a really like weird time for me
Mm-hmm.
cuz I never had like a serious injury. I never been down for more than a week maybe ever in sports ever. So I when it happened, I had to of course I had to learn how to walk again. I had to learn how to jog, run again, full sprint, but the the bounce back from it, it was I would say the bounce back from it was bittersweet because I didn't ultimately get my goal my senior year because senior year, of course, you want to win state, you want to, but we weren't fortunate enough. We lost semis the round before, but every moment from senior year, just even though I had to play with a brace on, like I loved every minute of it because like I knew kind of like I knew I wasn't going to play college ball, so I knew that was like really my last like time ever playing football with my bros. So
Mm-hmm.
I took it for what it was and we ran with it. Like we were full go, like from fall camp to all the way in November and it's freezing cold. Like we were full go. Like once I got because I remember the day I got
Mm-hmm.
cleared and it was that morning before practice. Me and Pops drove back to the school, back to the facility. I grabbed all my stuff, walked in there, handed the paper to my trainer. He read it and he was like, "He's full go." So from that point on to all the way in November, whatever I had to do, just to
Mm-hmm.
whatever they needed out of me, like they was gonna get it 110% just because like I'm never gonna have this chance again. So I would say that was a bounce back for me personally.
Uh-huh. Did you play in college?
No, I didn't. Nah, as far as college, I only worked with the team's head coach and their offensive coordinator, just talking schemes, learning different coaching methods. I want to
Mm-hmm.
get into coaching eventually down the line in life, but
Okay.
yeah.
Do you what are your aspirations now?
Right now, I want to be able to go back to college and finish my degree so I can start working in the sports
Mm-hmm.
world. Whether it be sports recreation with community centers as of right now locally here in KC, or
Mm-hmm.
I can work my way up to work with teams, work with professional teams, whether they be local professional teams or national professional teams. Just working in their sports recreational department or working in the coaching world if I'm able to ever coach whatever level I am. I hope I'm ready for that moment. So
Okay. So it uh you're a drummer as well. Are you when did you start drumming?
I started playing drums as well. I've been beating on pots and pans since as long as I can remember. But I got my first actual drum set. I was like 3, maybe 4 years old, and that was just me playing at the house. And then it got to the point where I'm playing too loud at the house, so we got to find something else. That's when it moved to taking me to choir rehearsals and just different church events. I remember a lot of choir rehearsals wasn't even for my church. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was just a whole bunch of kids. It's a youth choir, but they call it my mama, so I'm going. I'm grabbing my sticks. I got to get in the car. So, uh, and then it grew to playing at my grandfather's church, Faith Baptist Temple, Faith Baptist Church. I was like 7, first time I actually played on the real drum set there. I remember having like my own little small drum set set up next to my cousin's. My cousin Stephen, he used to be the
Mm-hmm.
drummer at the time because I was, of course, I was just a baby. So
Mm-hmm.
I was always watching him and just trying to mimic him on my drum set. So then when I got old enough, I started playing with my uncle on the organ, and then after that, it just took off.
Okay. Okay. I say that you are one gifted brother. Tell you the truth, the whole family is gifted.
Appreciate that.
The
Appreciate that.
whole family. I remember Miss Kathy that woman could sing up a
Yeah.
storm. And brother Count, he could play that piano.
Better than
I
anybody I know. Oof.
it's like y'all had your own band.
My grandmother
Uh-huh.
was really in my mind, my grandmother was really the mastermind of it all.
Mm-hmm.
She was the concert pianist. So when it was her and my uncle, Sunday in, Sunday out, just sitting there playing songs at different octaves because they don't like it how it sounds, so they just moving it around. And I'm like, one of these days, everybody gonna figure out y'all just playing around with these songs. Y'all ain't and and me watching it like everybody else in the family watching it like it's normal, but I'm whole time looking like they put a whole song in a whole different key that don't nobody sing it like that. But we gonna play it like this because it sound great. And the whole time don't nobody know, but if you're a musician and you sitting there listening to it, you'll be like, oh my goodness. So I was very grateful to be able to play with both of them because I'll be truthful with you. I did not. I was Devin Miles for the longest. I was not reading music at all until high school. Like I didn't. I wasn't reading sheet music to save my life. Like if you asked me to read sheet music when I was like 12 years old, what happened? From as long as I can remember, I was always playing by ear. So it was. I would hear the start of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Within the next 2 seconds of the start of the song, you don't catch it, somebody gonna turn around and look at you. So you might as well, hey, you got to clean your ears out because you're gonna have to really hear. So it was
Mm-hmm.
after that, after I got the 2 second rule, I was like, yep, that's just how it goes. That's really how I thought like just playing drums went. I never knew about. Well, I knew about sheet music, but I didn't know it was so detrimental
Mm-hmm.
until I got to high school, and that's when I like learned to read sheet music.
Mm-hmm.
But even when I was in high school, like you gave me a sheet music test. We was gonna get a 70 on it. Like we was just passing. Like we was cool. It was just like I was so used to playing by ear. My ear was so sharp. So
Yep. So, brother, I tell you, I'm gonna say it again. You are one talented brother. You going places that no man or no one can touch. I commend you, brother. Like the Bible says, eyes have not seen and ears have not heard what the Lord has for you.
I
So,
appreciate that.
yep, I commend you. I thank well, first of all, I thank you for joining me today.
Of course, man.
And
I thank you for having me. Honestly,
uh-huh. So if you got anyone that wanna show up or help me out or for an interview, just let me know. First of all, before we end our discussion, if anyone wants to support my podcast, uh, uh, uh $ capital DEEDERRICK, capital LAMONT, Lamont, capital D is the way to do it. It's my cash app for any donations and everything. So first, once again, I want to thank Brother William, and I will send you this link right when we get off, so you can share it and share the Bethel and see what they say.
for
And
sure, I would. Yeah, most definitely.
mm-hmm.
Man, I
So
appreciate you for having me on here. It
mm-hmm,
was a really cool experience for me. Um, I hope we made the video as best as we could. I
mm-hmm,
hope the video honestly does great things. Honestly, I know I'm gonna share it everywhere I possibly can. So,
mm-hmm. So thank you, Brother William, again. And we're peace, everyone. Thank
man,
you.
peace out. I appreciate it.